know how we do. We are finding devices. We are emulating. Emulating as always. So today, I figured I'd test out Retroarch with some 16-bit, 8-bit stuff. This is the T95S2. This is a $28 Android box you can get at Amazon. Pretty cool little device. I tried testing N64 on it. Was not happening. I couldn't really get a single N64 game to play. However, it does have a nice feature for Retroarch, since it is a Android device. It's got the Google Play Store, super easy to set up, and of course, you know, we have Retroarch, which is pretty well put together for Android at this point, even on some of these older models. So a little bit about the box: it's a quad-core processor. It can stream 4K. It's got 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is pretty nice. And actually, I'll be honest with you, the nice thing about this is it has 2 USB ports. One's a USB 2.0, there's a USB 1.0. And the nice thing is, guys, it's got an SD card slot. So you can actually put an SD card in here. I'm actually using an external hard drive for this test. I already have Retroarch set up, so we'll go ahead and get that open. Again, super easy. All you have to do is download Retroarch from the Google Play Store. You're brought into a pretty archaic look as far as Retroarch. I'm not going to lie. If you had like an older Android phone, this is what it would look like. However, I will say it plays actually pretty well. I'm very surprised. So we'll go ahead and get into it, guys. What I did was I set up PC Engine, NES, Super Nintendo, Sega 32X, and Genesis. I will say, full disclosure, it does play Neo Geo games. However, I had not been able to figure out the coin insert key. I've tried to play around with the settings for whatever reason. I know most of the time it's select. Select was not working. I tried changing settings. It was driving me nuts. I figured, you know, guys, I'm not going to worry about Neo Geo and arcade at the moment, so we're just going to kind of test the big four, you know, Super Nintendo, Nintendo, PC Engine, and Sega Genesis. Plays all these pretty well. You do have a lot of settings. The nice thing is run ahead mode, guys. So we'll get into it without further delay. Let's play some. We'll go right into Sega Classic. One game, obviously, that has a little bit of input lag. Typically, is going to be Bloodlines. And like I said, I already have the emulators and cores set up. It's real simple. There's plenty of how-tos on YouTube out there. Now, a lot of times what happens is, let's see if I can get out here. So sometimes if you guys are going to be using this thing, over screen overlay, you might see this as default to turn that off. I'm using an Xbox controller. Just press your home button on your Xbox and then go back to that same setting and just display overlay. So you go to on-screen overlay, display overlay, turn it off. Now what I'll do on this one, because I know it has known latency issues, is I will go ahead and run ahead, which is already on. I have it automatically set to 1. Sometimes I've noticed when I run ahead mode on some games, for whatever reason, it almost kind of causes the game to run slow. So in that sense, I'll just turn it off. It's really not a big deal. You know, it is what it is. So, you know, it's not always going to be perfect, unfortunately. So here we are, guys. Look at that. 0 input lag on this one. As far as controllers, like I said, guys, use an Xbox controller. Oh, I'm using a wired Xbox. I'm sure you can set up Bluetooth on it, but with this thing, with how cheap it is, I wouldn't even waste your time, to be honest with you. I mean, but it plays this game very well. And like I said, one thing that they haven't incorporated into the Pi yet is that run ahead, so you have 0 input lag on this one especially. So save states, you can just come down here. I actually need to back out here. Let's save state, boom. Now you get a save state in slot 0, so next time you come in, just load up slot 0 and you're good to go. Exit the game, hit your home button. And you just close content, and then you can go back here. So now we're back on our Genesis menu. I got Comic Zone, Contra Hardcore. Let's throw on some Contra, see how that runs. So typically all your Genesis stuff's literally going to run fine. I had 0 issues with it. After this one, we'll get into some Super Nintendo stuff. I know Super Mario World, that I believe that one typically has input lag as well. So this isn't going to last long. I suck at this game. I mean, in my defense, it's a pretty brutal game, bro. Do you even freaking self-mutilate? Yes, as you guys running buttery smooth. As it is, as it is. I'm using the D-pad. There's a way to set up your analog. Just hadn't got around to it yet. I mean, usually when it comes to... Usually the way I look at it is when it comes to the 16 and 8-bit stuff. I mean, that stuff was pretty much made for analog. Or not analog, but your D-pad. So, since the game was designed to play that way, I typically don't really... I mean, I don't really typically experience any sort of difference. That would make it better anyways. So, I mean, when it comes to your arcade stuff, yeah, you kind of want to use it as, you know, they were made for the joysticks. But, you know, like I said, it's too much. I don't really worry about it. Alright, so we'll go ahead and close this one here. We'll get into some other stuff here. Like I said, Genesis, guys, home run. No issues. One thing I have not tried yet, and we'll do it now, is 32X. Let's see, Calibri's a good one. That's a strange game. Pitfall, Primal Rage, Space... Let's try Space Harrier, actually. I have not ran any 32X yet. So, I'm actually going to turn my audio up. It seems to be running pretty well. Like I said, for a $28 box, guys, this is kind of like... It does pretty well, I would say, for the most part. But then again, it's not really hard to emulate some of this stuff. But I would say, you know, for what it is, it's definitely not bad. I mean, I've seen a lot worse. WrestleMania. You know what? Here, let's try this one. Everyone always asks me for this game, man. It's WrestleMania. So let's try this one out. Undertaker. Alright. Alright, he seems like a winner here. Try to turn my volume up without getting some feedback here. Yeah, sounds good to me. Just don't know how to play this game at all. So, therefore, I will be getting my ass whooped. Damn, dude, Razor Ramon's whooping my ass. You know what, Undertaker? Be ashamed of yourself. Restart that one, close content. Let's try Calibre while I got it on here. I know this is like a very popular kind of, it's like a cute 'em up, shoot 'em up, I guess. Shoot 'em up, cute 'em up, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm not a fan. It's a cool looking game. I mean, for its time, it was like a pretty game, you know. Start your game here. Let's do it. Alright. So yeah, as you guys can see, not something I would play, you know, but it runs pretty well. Alright, so let's get into some Super Nintendo here. Nintendo, honestly, I'm not going to show you guys Nintendo. Nintendo runs fine. I mean, you could pretty much run Nintendo on a freaking, I don't know, you know, Motorola Razr. You could probably run freaking Nintendo on it. So I'm not going to waste my time. You guys know what's up with Nintendo. So let's get into some Super Nintendo here. Let's see, Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country. You know what? Let's try Donkey Kong Country. Put a little load on it. I know the Pi Zero does struggle with some Super Nintendo stuff, so it'll be interesting to see how this does. I mean, already usually if you start having problems, it's in this beginning audio, and I already hear no issues with it. If you guys get some feedback, man, I do apologize. So yeah, this is running like surprisingly smooth, actually. Yeah, this is surprisingly smooth, I'm not gonna lie. Donkey Kong was my shit, man, and it was funny because I didn't rock the SNES. I rocked the Genesis, man. I did not have a SNES, but I had family members that had the SNES. So I used to go over there and rock the Donkey Kong, play some Super Mario Brothers. So this is actually, I would say, and you guys know how I am, man. I don't like talking down on the Pi, but this is actually running better than Super Nintendo on the Pi Zero. Not on the Pi 3, but the Pi Zero. This is definitely this. I think this definitely has a little edge up on the Pi Zero for sure. And the fact that you can play arcade games even is a plus. I might do a separate video for that, as I might have to tweak that a little bit. Because I could get, like I said, I could get the game to load, but I just couldn't, for whatever reason, I couldn't get the, Gradius, John Mac. I don't have all the games on here. Let's see how Killer Instinct runs. I just couldn't get that key feature to load on the Neo Geo, so I'll come back to that, revisit that at a later date, bro. Do you even revisit retro? And we're already at 13 minutes, so I just definitely want to keep this video under 20 minutes. I don't know. Orchid, I guess, is fine. Orchid, whatever. However you say it. How the hell do you jump? Can you jump? Oh, up is jump. See, I was trying to use the joystick. Not working. Yeah, this is running smooth. Buttery smooth, guys. This is crazy. I mean, it's really nice how you can now buy these $28 Android boxes. Now, I'll put a link in the description, guys, if you want to hit it up on Amazon. Definitely get yourself. I mean, and the cool thing is, obviously, you can stream on it. So if you need like an extra streaming box in the house, you could throw some Retroarch on there. Play some retro. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Lamborghini American Challenge. Ooh. You know what? You know what? Mega Man X. We have to try Mega Man X. I know my boy Kamikaze. If this will run Mega Man X, he'll probably buy it. Although I will say the X are definitely my favorite as well, without a doubt. I could never get into the ones on Nintendo. I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad at them. Maybe I just suck, which is fine. I can admit it when I have a problem. Oh, I didn't charge it long enough? There we go. I thought I charged it long enough that first time. No! I didn't even need to go back for him. Already had him. There's Mega Man X, guys. You know what's up. It works. It works. Got Mega Man, Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam. All these will work, guys, without a doubt. What did I say? Let's try. We'll end it with some Super Mario here. See how that works on there. Alright, guys. So here we go. Super Mario World. See how this bad boy runs. This will be it then, I think. But you guys get the general idea if it plays this. Yada yada yada, can't skip shit, gotta read the whole thing. So far so good. I'm curious if I get any latency. A little bit of latency actually, so let's see if I can, let's see how it runs with run ahead mode on. So again, just going the, oh okay, just trying to change this to 2 actually. Let's see, check my sound out here. Yep, sounds good, guys, and yeah, that input lag is pretty much gone at this point. I mean, you're running 2 frames ahead. If you have input lag, it's probably at that point it's your controller or your monitor, or just the device itself. So I'm just really, really terrible right now. Alright, no fault this time. Let's go. This is one of the few Mario games I've actually never beaten. I've never beaten this one. One of these days, maybe like before I'm too old, I'll sit down and beat it so I could be like, you know what? I beat Super Mario World. What have you done with your life? Oh, no, forgot about that one. But anyways, guys, that's it. That is the exit out of here. That is the quit Retroarch. There we go. That is the T95S2. Again, like I said, nice thing is it has 2 USB ports, and the cool thing is it does have an SD card slot, so you're not sacrificing, you know, a USB slot for like an external hard drive. So you still got your two wired controllers if you wanted to play some co-op or whatever. I would definitely, I mean, as far as an emulation machine, if you're looking to maybe have like, if you're looking for something that to use with Netflix or some sort of streaming media device, maybe you want to throw Kodi on it. It plays a Kodi pretty well. And then you want to have something that plays games as well. I mean, this is better overall, I would say, than a Pi Zero. So it's definitely better than a Pi Zero, without a doubt. I would say with 100% confidence, if you're, you know, kind of debating whether you should get a Pi Zero or maybe go the Android box route, I would definitely suggest this. It's going to be about the same upfront cost, but because you have the streaming capabilities, this is definitely going to be the better option. So it's a T95 S2, guys. They go for about $28 on Amazon. You can't beat it. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to check it out. You know, overall, I would, as an emulation device, I would give it like a 7 out of 10 if I had to give it a rating. It's solid. It was actually pretty easy to set up with Retroarch. But again, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for checking out the video. And until next time, guys, do you even retro, bro? I'll see you on the next one.